Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, welcome back to the Time Cave. It's Monday, so that means the usual content, and I give it a thought of what I'm going to share with you guys, and I have an idea what I'm going to share. It's a little different, yeah. You probably noticed I've been wearing my engineer cap for several last videos, and well, I figure it's a nice, comfortable cap, and a lot of us all like trains to one degree or another, and well, it's a nice cap, and I'm just gonna wear it. I got it about a little over a year ago now in Connecticut at an antique mall there, and it was really cool. I love this thing. I shared the story about it in one of my last videos, so you can go ahead and back it up and check out some of the previous videos, and you'll see the story about this particular cap. Anyhow, we're burning a Rayo number 75 here on the bench, and sorry, I got a glare. I don't want to glare on this thing. There we go. See, I have some supporting stuff behind me, and I don't want it to be glaring at the camera because that's just, you can't see what it is. Well, let me bring it up forward to the camera so you can actually see it. I'm going to clean it off a little bit. This is a picture I scored off of eBay several years ago. It's a piece of World War II propaganda, U.S. Navy style, World War II victory, V for victory. And it's an image of a battleship with a convoy of destroyers and whatnot, and also, of course, a formation of bombers. And you look closely at the bombers, you can see that they resemble that of B-17s, but they're kind of artistic interpretation. There's some licensing going on there, but it's a nice kind of watercolor, charcoal watercolor type of image. It might even be original. It looks like it's done on watercolor paper. But it's very symbolic. So you have the big gunship there, the battleship there in the foreground, and the light from behind is silhouetting it against the sky, and then the light is shining on the water and forming a V with the silhouette or the shadow of the battleship. And it's not a particular battleship per se. I would say it probably resembles the USS Texas a little bit, which still exists. Yeah, and I think they're going to be doing some renovation on the Texas with some luck and a lot of money. It needs to be saved. But anyhow, that is a real wartime picture, and it's setting a little bit of the stage. Sorry, I don't mean to reflect it's the light. It's a struggle. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's setting the stage. It's in the introduction to what I'm about to share with you guys. Yeah, so we'll just set this back here, so at an angle so it doesn't reflect the light coming in from the time cave. Anyways, with that being said, here's something that I recently scored at a thrift store of all things. Now, this goes to show you never know what you're going to find at a thrift store. Now, there's a lot of thrift stores I don't go to anymore. Mostly those who are connected with a corporate entity, such as Salvation Army, which is a church, but they are definitely very established, and they go through a lot of the things that they find, or that are donated rather, and they either put them online or they mark the price up really high on anything that's they deem as collectible. And the sad thing is a lot of their employees may have an idea of what's collectible because they look at eBay and then they see something that's similar and it's an asking price that's really high, but of course they're not looking at what things sell for. They just look at what people are asking and they figure that's what they're going for. Why would anyone ask that much money for something if it's not going to sell? Welcome to Antiques. Yeah. Anyways, same with Goodwill, just as bad. I hate to say this. I know they're a charitable organization, as well as most thrift stores have a charitable entity about them. But from what I've learned, there's a very little percentage that actually goes to charitable organizations and to the help that they claim they serve, and actually facilitate. So with that being said, these guys can do a lot more with what they're getting. Yeah, and they definitely don't pay their employees what they should be paying them. And so I have my reasons. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to do that. I just know that the president of those companies are making six figures annually. And they're getting a lot of free merchandise and marking things up very high at times on collectibles, and it's kind of annoying. It really is. especially here in California. But that's enough I'm going to say about that. But the thrift store we visit has a charitable organization, and the prices are more or less very fair, and they actually don't cherry pick the old stuff. They don't. They let it be on the floor and somebody can pick it and buy it right there. And yeah, they have a little bit of a markup, but it's pretty reasonable for the most part. It's not full antique store prices, no. Anyways, what I'm going to share with you is this. Check that out. It's a shell casing. Yeah, World War II U.S. Navy brass shell casing. About 3-inch gun. Yeah, it probably was fired out of a 3-inch gun from what I understand. But it's a naval round. And it was a, let's see. There's some printing on here. It says, assisted with electric primer. I believe that's what it says. Yeah. Also, it's dated. It's dated 6/1944. You see it? Yeah. The primer looks like it's still there, but it's been deactivated. Let's see down inside. Maybe. No, I'm not going to shoot the camera. Anyways, I found this at the thrift store, and I thought that's a really cool thing. That's a cool piece. I like that. It would look really neat out here in the time cave. And it was about 20 bucks. And I'm like, yeah, man, I just kind of like, I carried it around the store for most of the time I was there, and I hemmed and I hawed and I hawed and I hemmed. I was like, do I really need that? Do I need to spend $20 on that thing? I'm like, that little voice clicked on and says, Rob, dude, really? You're questioning this thing? The brass alone is worth more than $20. Yeah, it's very heavy. It's very thick, and it's World War II period, and it's collectible as well as the metal worth is there. So I'm like, okay. So I try to send a photo to a buddy of mine who's definitely a little more savvy with World War II artillery and shell casings and stuff like that. He didn't get back to me, but I bought it anyways, and I figured that if he wanted it, he could have it. He got back to me and says that I did good. I did very good, and that these things usually do fetch 150 to 300 or so, depending on size and date and all the all the factors. You get it. So he said that was a good price, and I'm keeping it. I'm going to keep it out here in the time cave, and with a little luck, if I can find some scrap brass or other metals, I'm going to make this into a smoking stand. So I'll have to find a nice large brass dish for an ashtray with the little the little holders on the side for holding a cigar or pipe or whatever, and then find some nice plates, round plates in different sizes that are brass or steel, and form a little stair step round platform for this thing to sit in, and make a cool little U.S. Navy World War II themed smoke stand. I think would be really cool. It's about the right size, so if it stands just right there, it will be the right height for next to an armchair. So I think that'd be really cool. Don't you? I think so. But it's a neat piece, and it's going to sit out here in the time cave and just be enjoyed until I can make it into something naturally respecting its structural integrity and not damaging it. So if someone doesn't want it to be a smoke stand, then they can remove old pieces at some point in time after I'm long gone and make it just a shell casing again. Everyone has a different taste. It's true. Yeah, I like to try and preserve history so someone else can use it how they see fit. I don't like making things out of historical items so much, but the art of trench art was definitely something that was happening during World War II. So we see sometimes ashtrays or lamps or something that were made out of scrap metal from trenches, or old bullets, or rounds and stuff like that. And that was a thing. People did that. Guys did that if they were handy. They made artwork out of the scrap that they found in the trenches and on the battlefield. So that's a whole thing. It's called trench art. It's pretty cool. So with that being said, I thought I'd do a little tribute to the U.S. Navy, World War II period, since I bought that. And yeah, it's a neat piece, and I think it's going to be appropriate for the time cave, since I have some World War II Navy type of related stuff out here, especially since my grandfather was in the Navy. And you know, I have the submarine up there that was, you know, it's in honor of my next door neighbor growing up who was on submarines during the Second World War. He was a submariner. He was a second-class motor operator on the USS Gunnell. Did 2 patrols off of Australia between 43 and 44. Or 42 through 43, I think, actually. Yes, yeah, that actually makes more sense. But anyways, cool stuff. Fun old history, World War II stuff. It's fascinating. It's interesting history, and it's also important to remember and know about it. So, you know, if you forget history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? I think so. All right, friends. Well, we'll be back with some more lantern-related stuff. I have some projects to get to here in the near future, and once I get my supplies back in order, which will be this week, then we'll start scrubbing away on some lanterns. Hooray. All right. Take it easy, and we'll see you again soon by Friday. Bye-bye.